This conference will now be recorded.
Hey guys, this is Naveen here, and welcome to Naveen Automation Labs. So this is the last chapter, or I would say the last video of Selenium interview question series, right? So I hope you guys are enjoying. I can see that a lot of people are watching and people are appreciating these videos, especially with Selenium interview questions. So please watch this entire series, and this is the fifth part that I'm going to cover with respect to framework designing questions, right? So the next question is in part 5. The first question is that what is a framework? What are the different types of frameworks are available? So we know that, okay. Uh, with respect to best practices to solve a problem systematically, we design a framework, right? We design different components. It's not like we are writing 10,000 lines of code inside the main method or in the same class, right? So that's why we use some design patterns, we use some frameworks. So we have different frameworks like data-driven testing framework, we have keyword-driven testing framework, we have hybrid testing framework, and then BDD frameworks like behavioral-driven development frameworks also available over there. So these are the different types of frameworks are available. I'll tell you what about data-driven, keyword-driven in upcoming question. Now, what are the different open source framework does Selenium support? See, that's the beauty of Selenium, that Selenium is totally open source and it can be integrated with different types of the list is used. Like you can use JUnit, testng, Maven, and JBehave, Cucumber. You can use any framework. You can use any technology. Let's say you want to integrate with Jenkins, easily you can integrate with Jenkins. You want to integrate with Circle CI, Bitrise. Okay, for all these different build automation tools, you can integrate very easily. The configurations are very easily available. Maven and Gradle also you can write your okay complete project. You can write inside the Maven and Gradle as a build automation tool, right? If you're using, let's see, some other language, let's see, JavaScript, Mocha, Grunt, Jasmine, okay, all these APIs are available. It easily can be integrated with Protector and on Protector and WebDriver IO and WebDriver JS. A lot of JavaScript based tools are available. JavaScript based free open source libraries are available. So easily you can integrate with those libraries as well. And all these are open source. So right, okay, remember all these names. People might ask you at a time of interview and it looks good that okay, yes, you are explaining like that. Okay, perfect. Now the next question is, what is the basic principle, the difference between data driven and a keyword driven framework? So we know that data driven, see, with the name itself we can see that where we have to drive the data. Data driven means you have to drive the data. Let's see, in manual testing, if I say that okay, there is a registration form and you have to register 5 users, so 5 user data is my data, right? That is my test data. So same thing in data driven framework, guys, we maintain the test data in some source. Let's see, the data is coming some Excel file or maybe in CSV file or maybe XML file or maybe some JSON file, like that. So whatever the input data, whatever your test data that we are going to okay use in our test scripts, in our test cases, we will maintain okay somewhere in Excel file, somewhere in CSV file. We will fetch the data from those Excel files or those CSV files and then use the same data over here. So if you talk about Selenium with testng, we have data providers, we have data factories, we have factory methods are available, and then you can create some utilities. Let's see, with the help of Apache POI API to read the data from Excel file, we can use some JSON parsers to read the data from JSON. We can use some XMLs, the document XMLs, DOM4j, all these things, APIs we can use to get the data from XML file, and then use the same data with the help of data provider and transfer the data to your test case and then use it like this. So this is a purely data driven approach, right guys, like this. But I'm not talking about data where you have to maintain your username, let's see, single username, single password, then URL, then the browser name. This is not your test data. Generally, test data means where that you have to pass to your test case, where let's say registration form is there, login form is there, you have to enter 10 username, 10 passwords, you have to create number of users, you have to create number of contacts, right? Like this. So this is your test data. So test data means your data driven framework. You have to fetch data from some external file. Now let's talk about keyword driven. Keyword driven, I would say very old school. When we used to do with work with QTP and UFT, that time we used to use keyword driven framework where you can. So what is keyword driven, guys? Keyword driven, guys, I can explain like this. Let's see, for every action on the browser, open the browser, launch the URL, enter username, enter password, click on login button, check login successfully, check welcome admin, then homepage header, then homepage title, then click on contact, then create contact, then click on submit, like this. So let's see, these are the 10 steps I have written for a single test case number 1. For every action, I have to write a keyword. Okay. For every action, I have to write a keyword. Now, action can be common. Let's say I want to, this is a text field. I have to write something over here. So then I can say that, okay, yes, type is one action. On top of type, you have to write click username, okay, or enter username. So we have to write one action that enter username, like this. One keyword we have to define. So this keyword you can maintain, let's say, in your Excel file in a sequential manner, like this. So just like this, you maintain all these keywords in your Excel file in a sequence to cover one test case. And these keywords are mapped in your code. Okay, whatever the code that you are writing, let's say this is the keyword code or keyword.java that you are writing, all the core keywords you have to write. So every keyword is mapped with a particular function over here that you have written, like this. Okay, like this. So you just maintain the keyword. So what is the advantage of keyword driven? The advantage of keyword driven is that you just give all these keywords to in the form of Excel file to the manual tester, and manual tester, they just, okay, write their test cases accordingly. So let's just like this, let's see, this is test case number 1. I want to write test case number 2 that way. Browser, open the URL, username, password, click on login button and check login successfully or not. So this is my test case number 2, like this. So all these test cases you can maintain in your Excel file, and then accordingly in the same sequence your test cases will be executed, and then like this. But there are disadvantages. A lot of maintenance you have to do for every single thing. You have to create an unnecessary function. The reusability, I don't think so it will be there. And then the reporting, right? How will you report in Excel file? Generally what we do that, okay, for every action, for every keyword, we write pass fail in your Excel file, right? Then you have 1,000 test cases, let's see. Then it's really difficult to maintain keyword driven framework when you have large set of data, large set of test cases. In that case, it'll be a problem, right? So that's why, guys, these days we don't use keyword driven framework. Okay, it's a very old school method, but in Selenium generally we don't use it these days. Now, what is the difference between hybrid and data driven? So hybrid, see guys, what is hybrid? Hybrid, most of the people say that, okay, it's only data driven plus keyword driven. No, it's not like that. So we have data driven plus you add your keyword driven plus you add some generic libraries or utilities you create, or maybe some any other approaches for your framework that you are using. And when you combine all these things together, then it will create one hybrid. Okay, then it will create one hybrid approach that is called hybrid framework. Okay, so it's not like that, okay, only data driven plus keyword driven. Whatever the approaches that you know, we just combine all the things together and then you can create one hybrid approach, right? Whatever the framework that I have designed on my YouTube channel that I have explained you, that is hybrid. Some libraries in the form of keywords we have written, data driven we are using, we are fetching the data from Excel file. Some other approaches that we are using, some other design patterns also we are using, like page object model, page factory, and page chaining model, and all those things, right? And some libraries also, some generic utilities also that we have created, like that. So that's why it's a combination of, okay, multiple things and like that. But data driven is, it's totally different. Data driven is only and only based out of your data, where you are fetching the data we are fetching from some external source. Now remember, in data driven, guys, external source can be, remember, if someone is asking you, don't say that, okay, only Excel file. Most of the people say that, oh, yeah, I'm fetching the data from only Excel file. No, it's not like that. You can fetch the data from Excel, from CSV, from XML, from database, right? From, let's see, JSON. So from Excel, you will use Apache Pro API. For XML, you will use some XML parser. For JSON, you will be using some JSON parser, let's see, Google JSON, Simple JSON, Jackson APIs and all. right? From database, you will be using database connectivity with Java, and then you hit the SQL query, and then you get the data. Some people, they do it like this, okay? Or maybe some CSV, so some open CSV or CSV libraries you will be using to get the data from here, like that. So it's up to you. The data can be stored in any format. Ultimately, we are bothered about data. Now we have to see that which source is more powerful, more lightweight, like that. Some people, they use these days XML and JSON. JSONs are very lightweight. Fetch the data from JSON, maintain your data in JSON, and then get the data. Some people are more user friendly with respect to, because Excels are more user friendly, so they maintain over here. For medium size test data, you can easily store. For medium size project, you can easily use Excel file. There is no harm in that. But you have, let's see, 1,000, 5,000 test cases, and the data is so huge, then it might be a problem. Or maybe people are using only one single Excel file where 5,000 data is available, 5,000 rows are available, multiple sheets are available. Then unnecessary you are making this Excel file is quite heavy in that case. So that's why, guys, we don't, okay, prefer Excel file in when the huge amount of data is available. Then we maintain some different approaches like that, right? So that's purely based out of your data driven framework, like that. Okay, now next question is that what are the two most common practices for automation testing? So we have seen that, okay, either we use test driven development approach or behavioral driven development approach. So test driven approach, I think, introduced in 2003, and BDD in 2009. Now, what is test driven development? Test driven means TDD. Test driven development means it's a software development process. So in the theory, what exactly they say that, okay, as a developer, actually it started with development process. As a developer, what you have to do, you have to write the test case, monitor it. While monitoring, if you see that, okay, there is a problem in the test case, you refactor or fix it, code on failure test cases, right? Then what exactly means that we have to keep checking our test cases. So let's see a developer is writing a unit level test case. So I have written, let's see, these three test cases: unit level test case number one, test case number two, and test case number three. When we write all these test cases, and then I'll keep executing them, and I'll keep checking that, okay, hey, what is happening? Let's see, suddenly test case number two got failed because of some new requirement got introduced, or maybe some other integration test case, or integration is not happening, or maybe some logic is incorrect, or maybe some data problem. So we will fix the problem, and again we will execute. Again it's getting failed, again we will fix the problem, and then we will execute. Now finally we got the pass result, and then we are actually fixing the problem. So before giving to the testing team and the QA team, for the unit level test cases point of view also, we are just keep fixing the problem over there, like this. Same TDD approach now can be introduced with automation as well, like this. So that's why TDD development framework means test driven development design. Okay, with this particular design, we have to develop a system like this, right? So what is BDD? BDD means what is BDD? BDD means behavior driven development framework. See, with the name itself, behavior. I don't know the spelling. We have to write behavior driven development. Development sense says that, okay, yeah, everyone has to contribute. Your product owner or your business analyst, your technical support, your managers, and your customers also sometimes they have to introduce. So there is a specific domain centric language that you have to use. Let's see, Jerkin keywords you have to write, and then you have to write a BDD format, okay, requirement. Let's see, given, when, then, something like this, and then the same requirement can be converted into your acceptance criteria if you're using agile, or if, right, like this. And Jira and all these things also, these tools, they support all these all these formats. And then you give this particular requirement to your development team and the testing team, and they feel that, okay, no, the acceptance criteria should be updated, they can also contribute over there. But the requirement should come from the product owner, from the business, from the customer, that, okay, hey, this is what I want. As a business user, I want to log in. When a business user logs into the system, then a customer sees these details, something like this, whatever, in the form of like this. Then in that case, what exactly the QA team may write their manual test cases or automation test cases on the basis of on the basis of these things, on the basis of the acceptance criteria, which is written under behavioral driven development framework. So so behavior means the what is the behavior of the end user, what is the behavior of the customer user, what is the behavior of the business flow. In that particular language we write the behavior of the application, and everyone has to contribute, guys, then only it will be successful. Otherwise there are a lot of debates on this. And then automation also came into the picture with bdd. There are different bdd tools are available, like we have cucumber, we have jbehave, we have rspec is available, then we have different jasmine, serenity is also came into the picture. Like that they support all these. You just create feature file, then convert that feature file into step definition and then execute it. And this feature file is coming from, okay, either automation engineers they are writing, or maybe manual qa they are writing, or maybe your business analyst or product owner they are writing. But the same feature file will be circulated, will be shared among all the stakeholders, and all the stakeholders they have to contribute. But the major contribution should come from the pos, from the bas, right? Because they are the business, they know the business, and the requirement is coming from the po, right? So that's about your behavioral driven development framework. For automation point of view, what are the different tools are available to support this framework, to support this approach? We have cucumber is available, we have specflow is available. Okay, so jbehave is available, serenity bdd is available. Okay, jasmine is also, they provide a bdd format, right? Like this. So there are different tools are available like this, and then you can easily write your, okay, test cases with respect to with this approach. Now, what are the main traits of a software test automation framework? What are the different features should be there? So features should be there that, first of all, it should be generic, it should be flexible, guys. Otherwise, a lot of hard-coded values you have written, a lot of duplicate code you have written, then this is not a framework, right? So every component you should write independently, and then it should be generic in nature. It supports different keywords and actions, provision of data sources for input. It allows your test case creation and modification. It's not like that, okay, you are just mixing all the things together and then your test case layer should be separated. Tomorrow you want to create new test cases. It should not hamper, it should not disturb your existing test cases. It should not, okay, like the moment you add a new test case, and suddenly the other test cases are not working. It should not be like this, right? Creation of the new test cases should be flexible, like this. Modification of the existing test cases, let's see some test cases are not working, you want to update them, you want to modify them, easily you can do that as well. Then define the test case priority. Manual or automation execution, it should be there through jenkins, automatically it should be executed, or through through Maven, or through some other build automation tool can be executed. Manually also we can execute whenever we want, like this. Maintain test results history through Jenkins, okay, or maybe some other build automation tool we can use it to maintain the previous histories, like that. Generate test matrices such as test versus code coverage. That is also important in your framework, that you should support such kind of coverage tools like SonarQube, or maybe some Copperchura, or Jacoco framework should be, should be there to maintain, to check that, okay, what is the test coverage, what is the code coverage for your framework. Report creation is very important because people are not going to check your console output, right? If you want to share the entire report to the entire team or to the management or to the client, in that case, the report creation like extend report, LR report, such kind of graphical reports, okay, you should provide the support for these things also. Then CI tool integration such as Jenkins, obviously that is also part of the framework, that, okay, yes, that is a part of your infrastructure where exactly you're going to execute and all those things. Cross browser platform and cross platform testing, it should support all the different types of browsers. It's not like only Chrome, it's not like only Windows. I want to execute on Mac machine, I want to execute on cloud machine, I want to execute on Linux, I want to execute on multiple Windows machine with multiple browsers. So all these supports should be there in your, through your automation framework, like that. Okay. Now, what types of test automation did you create in Selenium? So this is the list, guys. So if you remember that I have prepared one video and I have explained this particular diagram. So I'll quickly just go through this, that Your page layer should be different. We are using the hybrid approach with the data driven approach plus page object model, the page factory pattern, and we were using the concept of um, the test ng also we were using over there. So the page layer means for every page we should create a separate class where we will define the locators and the actions. Base page.java, where we are going to initialize the driver, we are going to read the properties and the configuration properties also, where all configuration or environment variables like browser, username, password, your URL, you want to execute in headless mode or not, like this. Your testng layer should be separated. It's not like you are mixing your testng layer with your page layer. No, strictly not allowed. So testng layer should be there. Every test class should be there where you have to write the different annotation like before method, before test, and then you have to write your test cases. You have to define your data provider. Then you have to write your assertions. Proper assertions are very important for every test case. If you are missing assertion, then what is the use of automation test cases, right? So assertions are very important. It's not like we are doing only automation, we are doing automation testing. So testing is the base. Testing is very important, guys. So your verification point, your assertions points should be written properly, like this. Then different utilities, libraries you can create. Let's see, for every element, for different elements, create some utilities. Let's see, implicitly wait, explicitly wait utilities you can write, some JavaScript utilities you can write, some executor utilities you can write, some Apache POI API Excel util you will write, uh, different constants you can maintain over there, like this. XML utilities, JSON utilities, all these utilities you will be writing under utility section. So for every section you will create a separate package, like that. So when you learn about how to design a framework, guys, please watch that series. It's very important. You will get a perfect idea that how to design a framework. So please watch my page object model series. Spend at least 4 to 5 hours on these videos. I'm pretty much sure that easily you can learn how to at least design a framework. It will give you a mindset to design a framework, right? I'm not saying that okay, my framework is the best. No, but it will give you a mindset that okay, yeah, this is how we work. Okay, this is how we design the things, this is how we design the components, and then we integrate the components with each other, like this. Then we have testng runner also, that we can create. That it's not like every time I'm going to execute individual methods or individual test classes. We will combine the things together over here in the templates, and then we will execute like this. Then test data layer, either you are maintaining your Excel file or CSV file or XMLs inside the test data layer, and then we will generate some reports. Different types of reports are there, like all these are graphical reports, HTML based reports. We have extend report, LAR report, testng report, a simple testng report, emailable report, PDF reports, T-results reports. Some these days a lot of online web reports are available. Those also you can easily implement, right? You can generate some different types of logs also with the help of log4j API. You can use it for that. Then you have to design the entire framework with Maven project. So we will design a Maven project. We will maintain one pom.xml file where we will write different types of dependencies. What are the different third-party dependencies you need? Let's say I want to use Bonigration WebDriver Manager. I want to use WebDriver API. I want to use testng API. I want to use JUnit API. I want to use Cucumber APIs, Cucumber dependencies, Apache POI dependencies, XML dependencies, JSON dependencies, like that, right? I want to generate some PDF. I want to validate some PDF, so I want to use PDF box utility. So there are hundreds of utilities, third-party utilities you will be using in your framework. So obviously you have to maintain a build project where you define all these dependencies over here. And then you will maintain one Maven lifecycle. Tomorrow you want to execute from the command line or from the Jenkins through the Maven. So you have to maintain different plugins over there, like compiler plugin, resource plugin. Then we have Surefire plugin. Surefire plugin is used to execute your test cases. Compiler plugin is to compile your the entire to the entire code over there. And then finally we will generate a jar. We will generate a resource. We will generate an artifact for your framework, and then we will share this particular artifact, and then we will generate some reports, like that. And then we will move it to the Git repository, right? We will main either you are using Git repository or Bitbucket or whatever, then you will write it over there and then push the code over there. Then you will use the PR process. Now you have to learn PR process also, pull request process and the PR review process and everything. And then we have to move it to run it through Jenkins or maybe some other other CI/CD tool you want to use it, you can simple use it. So it can be auto triggered, it can be manually triggered, that you can use it like that. And you are running all your test cases. I would add one more thing over here, that okay, all these test cases, let's say you are running on some cloud machine. Now this cloud machine, it can be anything. Now let's see, on AWS machine I want to execute it. On AWS, what I'll do on AWS, let's see, I'll write, I maintain some let's see, grid console over here, where this particular grid through Docker container executing the test cases on the multiple browsers over here like this, right? And this grid is maintained in the form of Docker container. Now that's a one of the approach that you can use it, or maybe some approach like Selenium also you can use it. So there are blocks are available. You can use Selenium also. Then you can use Selenoid also. So Selenoid also is again Docker container concept, where you can execute your test cases on, okay, on Selenoid on multiple browsers. You can also use it. So that is the infrastructure part. And then you can host maybe on some AWS, Google Cloud, or Microsoft Azure, and all those things. So we don't need to learn completely about AWS, but we just need to create an account, get the instance over there, and then set up your infrastructure over there, and then execute your entire automation test suites over here, but not locally. So this is your local machine, guys, right? It's not like we are executing all the test cases over here in this particular local machine. No, we need to set up a kind of environment setup over here. Then only we can. That's the right practice, the good practice. So this is the end to end. We will start from here, one by one. We will create all the libraries like this, and then we will reach over here like this. So this is an end to end thing, guys. You have to learn to get the real time experience. So people who are actually struggling, that okay, how to justify the experience at a time of interview, I'm coming from manual testing background, I'm having some career gap and all those things. So guys, this is a thing that you have to learn, right? So please prepare your mindset. It will take, it's not one time one day journey. It's not like today you are learning and tomorrow morning you will become expert. It's not like that. It takes time. Okay, but you have to prepare your mindset that okay, hey, you need a proper guidance, you need a proper direction. Someone can guide you, someone can, and we all are available. A lot of people are there, a lot of channels are there, a lot of good blogs are available. I'm not saying okay, my channel is the best, but plenty of resources are available online, guys. You just okay, watch them, but refer good books, good people, follow good trainers. I'm not, don't take, you know, false information from the resources from the community like that, and help others solve their problems, and then automatically eventually your mindset will be prepared like that. You can attend my training as well like that. So it's up to you. Okay, now back to this. Let me erase this once again, just a second, guys.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, now back to the next question. So all these summaries, okay guys, it's already written, you can just go through it over here. Now what are the challenges that you have faced with your Selenium, and how did you overcome that? There are obviously, when you design something, there are challenges, no doubt about it, right? So different common challenges, it's a very common question, a very important interview question, and it shows that okay, how exactly you're giving the answer, and it shows that okay, um, are you really having the real-time experience, or you are just making it up, right? So first of all, wrong implementation. I use the page object model but implemented incorrectly. So you don't know the rules, you don't know the guidelines, and you're just randomly implementing just few things that you have implemented. In the longer run, it is going to hamper you. It is, a lot of maintenance are required, and then a lot of bad practices that you have used. Then in that case, it will be a problem when you, okay, when you have good amount of test cases, right? So like that. Then duplicate code, unnecessary duplicate codes you have written for the same login method. You have written, let's say, 4 to 5 methods unnecessary for same user registration, for the same checkpoint, for the same send keys method, or get element method. You have written so many methods, so many duplicate methods you have created. That it's totally disaster, guys, right? So you should not do it like this. The repetitive code, you should not write it. You should always wrap in a particular common generic method and call that method again and again, so that you can use the reusability concept over there, right? So that's why I always say that okay, the basics are very important. The core Java is very important. The programming language, I mean, not talking only Java, but programming language is very important in that case, right? Then ineffective use of it. Your script is absolutely fine, your XPath and everything is fine, but you are not maintaining proper synchronization, the proper weights over there, right? So in that case, if you're using implicitly weight with a fixed timeout, but some pages are timing due to higher load time, then we have to adopt fluent weight with a variable timeout to overcome this problem. So I would prefer fluent weight or explicitly weight, but we should not mix both the weights together, because cumulatively the weights will be added and then the performance of the script will be down immediately. That so ineffective use of weight, okay, we have to avoid, right guys? Improper error handling or exception handling, if you're not maintaining it properly, it was getting hard to debug. Seriously, like it's really difficult to hard. So some places your try catch blocks are missing, some generic utilities that you have written, but there are no try catch blocks, there are no proper uh, console.log messages are there, or maybe your logger informations are missing over there. So it's really difficult that, okay, yeah, where exactly the problem, where exactly the error is coming, right? So that's why we have to write proper assertions, proper exception handling. Assertions are very important, guys. If you are not writing assertion, then there is no use of your test cases, right? Inconsistent XPath. Most of the locators were using the XPath method, okay, and the developers kept them changed while fixing new defects. Obviously, they are making some changes in the page. Your XPath got changed. Some people are using absolute XPath. It's a totally okay disaster thing. These XPaths are not at all useful. Today it's working. You never know tomorrow it will work or not. So we should always use IDs, okay? We should always use names. We should always use relative XPath, create your own custom XPath with the help of XPath functions and everything. Use proper CSS selectors whenever it is applicable, then please use it, okay? So don't use long XPath or unnecessary absolute XPath. That's very important, right? Performance and the localization. We are using flat file CSV initially to feed the data to test cases like this. And it failed in testing localization because obviously localization testing as well as the beaten as on the performance migrated all the user test data to MySQL and fix both the issues. So you can maintain your data in your MySQL server like that. And the localization point of view means if you're supporting, let's say, multi languages, in that case, you can maintain the multi-language data in some SQL database or something like this. And then on the basis of that, on the basis of some flag inside your MySQL database table, then you can pick that specific data, let's say in German language or in English language or Italian language. Accordingly, you can pick it up instead of maintaining the entire set of data in your CSV file like that. So this is another approach. You can use it like this. Monolithic test means it's saying earlier tests were not using the labeling. Honestly, wasn't a way to do it. Hence, we integrated our test cases with testng and got away with this limitation like that, right? Now we have many test groups. You can use the different, let's see, home page related groups, search page related groups, smoke test cases, regression test cases, sanity groups you can create, and you can define the priorities also over here. And then whenever you wanted, okay, hey, I want to execute only a home page related test cases. I want to execute only sanity test cases. I want to execute only regression test cases. So with the help of testng features, easily you can use it like that. Okay. So these are the different framework based questions and the basic architecture, the design, the flow and everything I have already explained. And then I try to explain how to give the best answer. See, while giving the answer, guys, your confidence should be reflected. Okay, you should be confident of, okay, yes, the way you are speaking, you're okay, yeah, this guy knows the things. I'm not talking about, okay, how perfect English you are, okay, communicating in, not like that, right? I'm not talking about your English skills. I'm talking about the way you are explaining, the way you are, telling the concept that, okay, hey, this is what we have used, and this is what we have implemented, this is what we have modified, this is what we have, all these problems we faced, and this is how we overcome with these problems. So that's very important at the time of interview, guys. Okay, this is, all the things. I know most of the people now expert in Selenium, but they are not able to crack. Their preparations are good, but the problem is they don't know how to give the answer at the time of interview. So that's very important, guys. Please learn these skills. Practice as much as possible. Watch interview questions. Okay, interact with different people, solve their problems. You will improve your knowledge for sure about it. Okay. Now the last question with respect to, I thought, okay, I should take it up. What are benefit testng over the JUnit framework? So we talk about it again, testng versus JUnit framework. So in JUnit, although JUnit 5 is available, a lot of problems they have solved, but still people are exploring. But as a typical question, testng is first of all very user friendly. On top of JUnit, they have created this particular testng. Both are competitive products. Both are used for Java unit testing point of view, plus the test automation point of view. Also, you can use either of them. JUnit obviously majorly used by developers, but right guys, but what is the actual difference? There are a lot of extra annotations are available in testng as compared to JUnit, like before class and after class. However, there is no such constraint in testng like this. Okay, so we start by declaring like at the before class and at the after class, and some extra annotations are also available in testng. So it's not like okay, every time you have to start declaring with before class and after class, but in testng you can directly start with at the rate test annotation. Also, there is no constraint or no compulsion to define before class or after class over there. Testng allows step up tear down routines which JUnit doesn't. Before suite, after suite, before test, after test, before group, after group, all these things are available in testng. Testng does not enforce a class to extend. Okay, we don't need to extend any particular class. You can directly create one testng, like the login page test class, and start using writing annotation and start using it and execute it. Method names are not mandatory in testng, which are in JUnit. That is again a separate feature. We can make a case depend on another testng. So depends on method is available like this. Other than that, in JUnit is not available. Other than that, expected exception is available. Invocation count is available like this. You can create a dependency. You can define the priority. You can use the parameterization with the help of data provider like that. Okay, so all these features are available. Very flexible things are available, and very user-friendly things are available in testng as compared to JUnit. Another different, testng allows grouping of the test. This is very important, where JUnit does not. Executing a group will run all the test cases under it. For example, okay, sorry, not like this. For example, if we have number of cases distributed in two groups, mainly as I told you, sanity and regression. So in sanity, let's say you have 10 test cases. In regression, you have 50 test cases. You can create two groups. One is sanity, one is regression. And if you want to execute only sanity, you just execute only sanity based test cases like that. So these things are very flexible. So testng is actually designed in such a way that it will help you, okay, for designing point of view as well as your execution point of view. Also, it provides a lot of features over here. Right. So testng, the parallel of test cases, in another crucial feature of testng, which is quite amazingly good. Like we have the concept of thread group is available, right? Automatically it will create the threads and then maintain the threads at the suite level, at the class level, at the test level. Okay, that you can simple do that. Okay, so these are the basic differences, guys, between testng and JUnit, if someone is asking you. So this particular video, actually, I majorly focused upon the framework, how to give the right answer, challenges, design, component, different types of framework, what is TDD, what is BDD, what are different tools and technologies are available, what are different testng features, JUnit features, the comparison between testng and JUnit and all those things, and then with the explanation of the architecture of the framework as well once again. So guys, please prepare these questions, and 2020 is crucial. So a lot of jobs are there. Still, a lot of jobs are there in Selenium with BYE automation framework point of view. And for Selenium point of view, prepare yourself and then let me know if you have any issues, right? So still, if you think that, okay, some question is there, you can write down your question in the comment section. I'll try to give the answer. Or in future also, let's see, what I'm planning is that whenever I feel that, okay, yeah, these are new set of questions are there in the market, I'll try to prepare one more series, a new series on Selenium or okay, interview questions and answers, right? So please watch all these videos. And I have created around 5 or 6 videos also earlier, 1 year back, on Selenium interview questions. So you can watch. I'll provide the link in the description. Okay, or you can go to my playlist and then you can check it over there as well. So I'll show you right away that quickly. So if you go to my playlist, and in playlist, guys, a lot of see, These are the web services interview question, and this is the latest series that we are talking about in 2020. And then earlier also that I have created. These are the Java interview questions, and yeah, around yeah. So just watch this particular series, guys. It will help you a lot. Okay, you can see that already more than 230,000 people they have already seen that. Okay, basics of Selenium from part one, and then you can see all the entire list is available over here like that. Okay, so please watch these series, these playlists, and it will help you a lot. Let me know if you have any questions or any doubts. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Please click on the subscribe button. This is very important. And there is a one bell icon is also there. Please click on it so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified accordingly. Okay, so that's all. Have a good day and then enjoy your weekend. Bye bye.